Hey, welcome everyone to Story Trading. Man, do we have an exciting, comprehensive special weekly meetup line for you tonight because of what's going on in Ukraine. It just so happened we had a lot of stocks we wanted to have updates on with either recent catalysts or upcoming catalysts. So we already had all those pre-scheduled and we don't want to cancel that. So we're doing a special 2-hour edition where after we do the regular stocks, we'll jump into what's going on with Ukraine. So quick disclaimer, Story Trading is not an investment advisor. That goes also for all of our speakers and our guests. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. If you're watching this on social media, what is a story trading? Story trading is the practice of understanding market pricing through the lens of our 4 pillars: fundamentals, catalysts, sentiment, and technicals. We collaborate as a community on WhatsApp and on Zoom, and we are building our own app. You can sign up for that or to be part of our WhatsApp community over at StoryTrading.com. We have lots of what we call VIP picks. These are stocks that are presented on Zoom at our weekly meetups on Sunday night. So you can head over to StoryTrading.com and see all those stocks we've presented in the past with links to the YouTube recording. So as we said tonight, the topic, we'll do an update on some key VIP picks. Then we'll have that special extended session on what's going on in Ukraine and how we can benefit monetarily from that. So tonight we'll be doing TPCS with Mark Gomes giving us an update, TFFP. Zach Keller will give us an update because of recent catalysts. Gaia earnings are tomorrow, so we'll quickly chat about that. I'll give you an update on CFVI and an introduction to SEAC. So we're going to go through these real fast because this is a lot of stuff. So first, just a quick little preview of what we'll do in the second half about the Russia-Ukraine war impact. So at this point, with the events over the weekend, I no longer think this is just trading volatility, which some of us have been trying to do, and hedging and things like that in our trade room. I think at this point, this is not just noise and short-term volatility, but there is an opportunity here. And that opportunity is based on this. I believe a line has been crossed with what's going on in Russia and the threat of nukes. I think the world has been changed forever, and sentiment will try and foresee longer term fundamental changes in multiple sectors. So here are a few ideas we'll be talking about. I think these can be powerful trend trades for many months or quarters, maybe even years, a long-term shift, maybe lasting as long as the COVID trade or more. So we're talking about reduced dependence on Russia. We're going to be seeing defense spending maybe going up, fears of nuclear war, something new to our generation, which may be something that may spark some trade ideas, and we'll do some brainstorming. So we'll get to that at the end, but for now, we're going to move to our next stock, TFFP, TFF Pharmaceuticals, last trade 686, market cap $174 million. This is a VIP pick. It's a biotech stock. They just had some COVID drug news. This was one presented by Dan Carlson. He wanted to be here tonight, but he couldn't. He had some family obligations. He's a very frequent guest on our show. Now, TFFP, after he presented it, shot up to 133% gain at the peak, but now it's minus 25% since it was first presented. So we're going to have Zach Keller give an update from our community on the significance of this COVID drug news that just came out. Here's a quick look at the chart. We'll come to you, Zach, in just a second. So here's a quick chart. Again, we're going to be learning, and this collaboration is to learn about those 4 pillars. But quickly, we at Story Trading had an article published at Benzinga. You can see it in most of the news feeds. Pops up right in there. Recently revealed. So we had a meeting on this a month or 6 weeks ago that Pfizer, they have a collaboration with Pfizer, recently revealed without a press release. It was stuck in a PowerPoint presentation. So you can check out that article. And now, last week, we have this COVID drug news. So with that, let's turn it over to Zach. Zach, you there? I think I saw him. Let me see here. Yep, there he is.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining us. So definitely curious your thoughts on the significance of this latest news and what you see coming next for the stock.
Yeah, so I think it's very significant. And like Ben said, Dan Carlson's really kind of the expert on this, so I'm just kind of substitute Dan tonight. But real quick on TFFP, just kind of as a review, basically what they are is a company that's developed thin film freezing platform that's designed to take drugs with poor absorption and water solubility and deliver them in an inhalable powder form that increases solubility. So most specifically targeting the lungs. When you have to take a drug orally that has poor solubility, you have to take a lot more of it. You have a higher dose, which is going to increase the amount of the drug systemically and possibly increase potential side effects. So with this, you have a lower dose delivery, less risk of side effects, being able to specifically target the lungs and supersaturate the tissue with higher plasma levels. So Dan had previously said that this is his highest conviction pick. And basically what happened towards the end of last year is the CEO, Glenn Mattis, last year had promised 2 deals by the end of last year, and they didn't happen. So the stock has been tanking for a little while now. And Dan's thoughts on that were really that it was just kind of a matter of time, and was anticipating some early positive catalysts this year. Now the Pfizer partnership, I guess it's technically not a partnership yet, but that was something that hasn't, like you said, been formally announced yet, and that might be, a catalyst in the very near future for them. As far as the partnerships, the 2 partnerships that were expected, I don't think anybody was factoring in this potential COVID news with the inhaled niclosamide. So they came out with a press release on February 24th. The stock went up 10%. They announced results of an in vitro study with inhaled niclosamide showing complete inhibition of viral replication of both Delta and Omicron variants. So this is a big deal from a lot of different perspectives. But one thing to think about, if you recall, is that whenever Omicron started becoming the dominant strain, or it was anticipated to become the dominant strain, they took one of the monoclonal antibodies basically out of circulation, the one that basically gave coverage for Delta. And the problem was there was still a lot of Delta out there at the time, so people didn't have access to that particular monoclonal antibody. So if you have an antiviral like this that could be prescribed as inhaler, that could largely eliminate this type of an issue. So compared to previous published studies, the inhaled niclosamide appeared to be the most potent inhibitor of SARS-CoV-2 replication, including the Omicron variant. More specifically, I'm going to have a hard time saying this, nirmatrelvir and molnupiravir each showed complete inhibition of Omicron at 2.5 micromoles. Now, in the studies with TFF, the inhaled niclosamide demonstrated complete inhibition of Omicron at only 1 micromole. So micromoles is what they're looking to measure the tissue saturation. So much lower levels of saturation needed for that complete inhibition of viral replication. Now, the significance of this is that they've already demonstrated that you can take 6 milligrams twice daily of inhaled niclosamide, and it's tolerated well. A 6 milligram dose is estimated to produce a concentration of greater than 100 micromoles in the epithelial lining fluid of the lungs. So literally a tolerable dose could produce something that is 100 times greater than needed to actually create that inhibition of viral replication. So what that means is it would take a very, very small dose to achieve the desired outcome. Let's see, a couple other things in my notes here. With regards to that and the viral replication, if you're restricting the viral replication, then basically you're going to limit the possibility of viral mutations. So that's another big thing. It's also temperature stable. So this is something that you could have broad accessibility with across the entire globe. Let's see what else here.
So yeah, I mean, I find that news pretty interesting as kind of an outsider. I own the stock, but not a huge amount. I don't have a ton of due diligence in my head on it. But the reason I invited you was because the headline of that to me was very interesting because it's a drug, not a vaccine, right? So right. I think the sentiment, yes, and the sentiment on vaccines probably bad right now, I'd guess, right? It didn't seem like it really worked for Omicron. So that's one of the things that drew my attention to this. I think, hey, and also because I really haven't, I never like gave any value to the COVID side before. So that was kind of like a surprise, you know, surprise value that was happening there. So that's why I found it interesting. And, you know, when we showed this, when we alerted to this last week in the trade room, you know, I noted that it was bouncing off the 20 DMA, and hey, that great news can maybe take it to the 50. It pretty much did that in one day. So just sharing the technicals there, you guys can make what you want of that, you know, in terms of possibility of moving to the next moving average. You got to make your own decisions on that. But, you know, we like to look at the whole big picture here at StoryTrading in regards to that.
Yeah, so the data is good. They had also done an in vivo efficacy study with hamsters that showed a 7-fold reduction in lung viral load 24 hours after they'd given the hamsters COVID. So the data on it's really, really good. This is not, I don't think this is anything that anybody had expected. Like you said, the partnerships that they were looking for were for their TAC and VORI programs. And so there's still positive catalysts that might happen early this year outside of this, but this is a really, really great development because, I mean, it inhibits Omicron and Delta, but then, you know, the possibility that it might be applicable to upcoming variants.
Right, that's a big one.
Make it like a first line treatment. And so, you know, you go to the doctor, you have COVID, boom, you get a prescription for an inhaler, you go home, you take that inhaler, you're better in a few days.
Oh, right. And it's an inhaler, of course.
Right.
Very targeted,
so
right?
Low dose, very targeted to the lungs, very, very high tissue saturation. So Union Therapeutics is a Danish biotech company that has the exclusive option to basically pick this up and develop it. So that's something we'll see over the next month or two. Does Union Therapeutics pick up this option and you know, basically dump a bunch of cash into TFF with the right to develop this drug? So in addition to the possibility of them getting a partnership with their VORI and TAC program. So I'll be curious to hear what Dan has to say, you know, about that and what he thinks about additional future catalysts coming up in the, you know, the near future.
Very, very interesting. Sounds like a compelling story, Zach. Appreciate your time on that. We got a note here from Ashley in chat. Within the next month or two, niclosamide trial data will be released. So another potential catalyst. Union has 45 days from data to, I guess, take that option.
Yes, so I believe it's by the end of this quarter, they're going to release the safety and pharmacokinetic data. So what do we get now? This, I guess, 4 more weeks, basically, right? Yeah.
Well, this sounds exciting.
So yeah, near term, this, you know, we might see a couple more catalysts and some significant price appreciation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zach. Appreciate that update. We got to be nice and efficient. Go right to the next stock. Zach, thanks again. But if you're not a member of StoryTrading yet, you can become a VIP member at StoryTrading.com. We have access to a dedicated WhatsApp group for each of the stocks we talked about tonight. And you can head over to our website. Also check out our other events coming up. You can follow us on YouTube and on Twitter at StoryTrading.